The film opens with a man named Demon choking the life out of his victim. A message on the screen reveals that the film is based on a real-life, notorious serial killer. In another scene, we see a frightened blonde woman running in the fields with one of her ears severely wounded. Out of the 6 phases of this film, we are first shown the 3rd phase. The blonde woman is being chased by Demon, who takes multiple shots at her car and causes it to crash. As Demon comes after her, she's left with no option but to run off in the woods along the road. Demon follows her there too, but she hides behind a tree bark. There, she finds a used alcohol bottle and a pack of cigarettes. She sips the alcohol to calm her nerves and pours some over her ear injury to disinfect it. Before Demon finds her, she moves forward and looks for a shelter. She comes across an isolated house with wired fences, which she crosses and knocks on the door to seek help from the elderly couple that resides there. In Phase 5 of the film, the blonde woman is seen hiding somewhere in the dark, while Demon breaks into the old couple's house. He starts looking for his victim and even shoots a chest box to see if his victim is hiding in there. He further moves upstairs to look for her, where the house's owner is spotted shot to death by Demon. Demon gives up his search soon and walks out of there in disappointment. On his way out, he glances at the house's frozen supplies that are thrown in the garden. He quickly figures that his victim is hiding in the deep freezer and returns to get her. He takes a shot at the freezer, which injures the blonde woman hiding inside it. He then opens the freezer and punches her in the face. Scenes go all the way back to Phase 1 of the film, in which Demon meets his victim for the first time. He has picked her up in his car and has driven her outside a motel for their one-night stand. The two remain seated in the car and get to know each other for a short period. The blonde woman has dark red hair here. Acting innocently, she asks Demon if he poses a threat to her. Demon also acts shy and innocent around her, which sprouts doubts. Once they are done chatting, they head to the motel room, where Demon cuffs the woman to bed and chokes her. The woman seems to take pleasure from the choking at first, but makes Demon stop shortly after sensing something in him. Her behavior leaves Demon with ambiguities too, as he was only following her orders. The woman lights up a cigarette and tells him that she gets off vibes from him. Demon continues forcing himself on her and insults her with derogatory slurs. When she reciprocates, he slaps her across the face. She doesn't tolerate the slaps and yells their code word to stop the act, which reveals that this was all a part of the woman's dark fantasy. We see a flashback of their car conversation, in which the woman implicitly lets Demon know how she wants him to act according to her fantasy, and doesn't mind it when Demon finds her freaky for demanding the rough stuff. She soon grabs her bag and heads to the room, whereas Demon remains in his car to strap his gun to his ankle. In the room, she compliments Demon for matching her freak and has a hard time explaining that she wants a softer beginning before the rough stuff. The film spins to its 4th phase, which projects the peaceful and uninterrupted life of the old couple who let the blonde woman in. That specific day, they have breakfast together and solve puzzles afterward. Their door is vigorously knocked, so they attend to it. That is when they come across Demon's victim and take her in to help her. While they dress her ear wound, she elaborates on her situation. She tells them she's being hunted by a serial killer and requests that they equip her with a gun immediately. The old folks don't happen to have a gun. They claim to be non-problematic people who don't condone gun violence. The old wife goes upstairs to fetch some painkillers for the woman, while her husband stays with the woman downstairs and keeps her company while serving her breakfast. From upstairs, the wife raises her voice and asks the husband to call the cops to tackle the situation. Demon's victim starts to panic and prevents the old man from calling the cops. Simultaneously, the wife hears strange noises coming from the kitchen, so she comes downstairs, only to find Demon's victim stabbing her husband vigorously.
You have 10 seconds to get more snacks and like the video. You shouldn't play with terror.
The victim immediately takes the wife hostage. The old wife complies with her easily, instead of causing a scene because she's too traumatized to see her husband lying dead on the floor. The wife cleverly convinces the woman to tie her up in the storm shelter to keep her out of the way. When the woman takes the old wife outside, she runs for her life and escapes the psychotic woman. Instead of chasing the wife, Demon's victim returns inside the old couple's home, now revealing her true colors and proving Demon's innocence. Inside, she ignores the dead husband and steals his leather jacket from the hook. She puts it on and hides in the freezer before Demon arrives and inspects the place. The film's second phase continues their romance from the motel room. The woman pulls out some drugs and forces Demon to consume them to celebrate her birthday. She switches his drugs with some paralyzing medicinal drugs behind his back. After the consumption, Demon tries to make out with her, but she pushes him away and heads to the bathroom with her bag. She takes out her knife and a taser, which goes to show she has ill intentions with Demon. In the meantime, Demon gets paralyzed and falls on the ground. He tries to escape in this moment, but the psychotic lady drags him back inside the room. She now undresses him and cuffs him to the bed. Before doing something horrible, she stuffs a piece of cloth in his mouth to keep him from screaming. After abusing him, she heads back to the bathroom and takes off her red wig to reveal her natural blonde hair. Before killing Demon, she goes through his stuff and finds out he's a cop who's on to her. Maddened with rage, she starts to carve the initials E and K on Demon's chest with her knife. Her grip becomes firm, and she goes for the final stab in the heart. Demon quickly accesses the gun he strapped to his ankle earlier and shoots the psychotic woman, who turns out to be the actual serial killer. Since he's drugged, he misses the aim. One of the bullets grazes the woman's ear. Crippling and stumbling, she runs away from there while putting up a theatric performance of being the ultimate victim. Demon sniffs some drugs to break out of his paralysis just so he can go after the lady killer. Subsequently, the blonde locks herself up in another hotel and convinces the concierge how she's being victimized by Demon. When they insist on involving cops in such a situation, she kills one of them and takes the other one hostage. She steals her clothes and car and speeds away before Demon catches her. The sixth and last phase of the film continues the killer's pursuit, who's currently knocked out in the freezer. Demon cuffs the killer with the freezer's handle and goes upstairs to use the landline. He connects with his partner, Pete, from the police station. He addresses the entire situation to him and calls for backup. Soon he comes downstairs and has a chat with the killer, who's finally awake. He suspects that she's the notorious electric killer everyone's talking about. Although she doesn't address her identity, she rues her fate of getting caught by a cop in the end, unlike her idol, Gary Gilmore, who willingly submitted himself to the cops because he was too sharp to be caught. She's intelligent enough to convince Demon that she loves him. Just as he buys this and comes closer to her, she sprays a can of pepper spray for wild bears in his eyes. Demon tries to take it away from her while his eyes burn. The killer bites his neck once he's close enough and scrapes out his skin with her teeth. Demon falls to the ground and loses blood to the point where he dies. The electric killer now struggles to get Demon's gun while still being cuffed to the freezer. She quickly hides it and pulls down her pants when she hears Pete arrive with a female cop to assist her. Like before, she tears up and plays the victim card. Pete has a hard time believing Demon could do something so heinous, whereas the female cop takes it seriously and forces Pete to take her to the hospital. When Pete and the lady cop drive the killer to the hospital, they are stopped by the old wife that ran away earlier. She reports them of the psychotic intruder that stabbed her husband to death, not realizing that Psycho is in the back of the van. She takes out Demon's gun and shoots the old wife before she spills more beans. She then points the gun at the female cop and forcefully kicks her out of the van. She forces Pete to keep driving ahead. At one point, she makes him stop the van and shoots him. From there on, she makes the rest of the way by foot, since there are no passing vehicles. Hours later, she sees a vehicle coming towards her. She pretends to be the injured little bird and gains the driving woman's sympathy. The woman immediately offers her a ride and brings her inside her vehicle. The electric killer tries to shoot her amidst driving, but the woman turns out to have faster instincts than her. She shoots her first and puts an end to her useless killings. Here, the film ends.